Hello, Dave Simpson. Today I'd like to talk about the subject of, do I need to learn music theory? Well, the long and short of do I need to learn music theory is yes you do. But you only need to learn what you want to know. There is no point learning whole tone scales, super Locrian mode, or anything that you don't think you're going to use ever if you're not going to use it. You know, there's no point learning that if you're not going to use it. It's just going to be like, you know, a pointless exercise. So learn what you want to learn. That's the kind of most important thing. As I say, it's all down, you know, it's personal preference anyway. At the end of the day, what you want to learn with this and make this thing say. So yeah, that's the kind of most important thing, is learn what you want to learn, and learn it the way you want to learn it as well. Not because you don't want to go to somebody and they say, right, you've got to know this and you've got to learn it this way, because that might not necessarily work for you. It maybe work for them, but it won't work for you. You're different to them. Like, you couldn't teach me something the way you learnt it, so to say, because I won't learn the same way you do. So it's all down to finding your own way of learning, basically. And if you find your own way of learning, the guitar just becomes yours, you know, and you play the guitar, it doesn't play you. And I think personally that, like, obeying musical theory is limiting. But I suppose it's an old saying, in it, like, if you know, you need to know the rules so you can break them, kind of, so to say. So it is very important to know musical theory, but I say just learn what you want to learn, and then kind of, like, you know, do what you want with it. Don't pay attention to what books say or what anybody else says. Do what you want with it. It's your knowledge to play with, and it's your guitar, and it's your music at the end of the day. So that's kind of, like, you know, the kind of point A, so to say, of this video, really. So yes, you do need to learn musical theory, but I say you need to learn what you want to learn. Way to do that would be to, depending on what you want to learn, really. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. When I wanted to start playing guitar solos, I learnt my scales, but I found it boring. I couldn't sit there. I mean, some people can, and you hear, like, you know, stories of Steve Vai who would sit, like, you know, for like 18 hours just running scales, and I can't do that. I can't do it. It sounds, you know, it's not musical. That is, it's all well and good getting that shape into your head, but it's not musical. And I wanted to be able to create solos that kind of have a melodic thing, and I wanted them to express what I feel. So what I did was, the way I learned to do it was, I would put a song on my CD player, press play, and I would start at the beginning of an album and find out what the first song of the album was in. Say it's in B minor, the first song of the album. And all I would do for that entire 3 minutes, 4 minutes of that song is solo in B minor pentatonic. And that'd be it. That's all I would do. And say the next song was in a F sharp minor, or a G major, or whatever. I would solo in those keys only. And if I didn't know what the key was, I would figure it out during the song. And I would mess up. And it would sound terrible. But failure equals, you know, like success, so to say, really. That sounds like a weird motivational spiel. But yeah, it is true. You need to be rubbish to get better. So you need to make wrong notes, you need to make wrong choices, and you need to, like, you know, be crap. Simple as that. The worse you are, the better you'll become next time you do it. It's simple as that. Because you won't make the same mistake twice. Because you'll learn, go, that note doesn't work, so I'll lock that into my head and go, right, so that note doesn't work, so I won't do that. So I reckon it's a good idea just to sit down and if you want to just play chords, a good way to do that with chords would be to kind of, like, find the chord progression of a song. Let's say, for instance, like, the chord progression is A major, D major, and E minor. So it's that. Let's get some volume. Let's go to a clean channel. That's wrong chord. But anyway, yeah, say that's the chord progression. Instead of doing it there, why can't, you know, instead of doing it there, do it open chord? Or learn your kind of like chords up here. Go, you know, something like that. Again, I've made mistakes there, but it doesn't matter anyway. I'm just using an example. But again, it is important to make mistakes, and it's humbling experience to kind of like go, right, cocked up there. So, and it needs to keep you grounded, and that's really important. So, so just bear that in mind. Like, you know, the worse you are, the better you'll be eventually. It will take time though, and you have to have patience, but you will get there. So yeah, it's kind of basically really what I want to talk about really in this video is kind of like, you know, do you need to learn musical theory? Yes, you do, but you only need to learn what you want to learn, and I reckon you become a better player when you put it into a practical sense, instead of just kind of like, as I say, running scales all day, or running like, you know, different inversions of chord all day. If you learn kind of like practical stuff, you'll become a better player a lot quicker, I believe anyway. That's kind of what, I mean, I'm only speaking from my experience and my opinions, so, you know, feel free to kind of like, you know, go away and you know, think what you want to think, but I'm just, that's kind of my idea, so to say. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I hope kind of you kind of can take something away from this video. I mean, there's a few, hopefully, you know, giving you some idea of, you know, kind of an idea of like, you know, so it's not so daunting when somebody says, oh, you got to learn musical theory. It's not, because that is like when somebody says, oh, you got to learn theory, like, oh god, because it can just be like a minefield. It is confusing as hell, and I've tried to teach people sometimes what they want to know, and you explain it to them, and it just kind of blows their mind. They're not ready for it, and if you're not ready for it, you can't learn it. You need to be ready to learn it, and you need to be willing to learn it for it to sink in as well. So just, I guess, another thing to keep in mind as well. So yeah, I hope this video has been a bit informative anyway. But yeah, as I say, just to recap, yes, you need to learn music theory. That's a given, but learn only what you want to learn, what you're going to use. Look and put it into a practical sense, and make music out of it. You know, those kind of 4 points are kind of like the most critical things, because a guitar isn't a thing. You know, a guitar isn't a thing I go, hey, look what I can do. Hey, girls. That's not it. That's not what a guitar is. A guitar is an instrument where you can express what you want to express, and kind of like make people feel what you want them to feel. It's you know, it's an extension of you, so to say. So, you know, always bear that in mind. It's not a thing to show off on. That's just an ego trip, and you know, and that's not the way to do it. It's about music. It's about reaching out and, you know, and touching people with music and making people feel, you know, good about themselves. You know, and it's all about what you want to say with this, not with this, with this. What do you want to say with this? I mean, that's another video, but yeah, hopefully, you know, that's you know, giving you some ideas anyway. So I will see you again on the next video, whatever that may be. I ain't decided yet. So yeah, I'll see you again. Goodbye now.